Hey everybody, it's Tony Cadaspati from GreatVocalMajority.com. And today I want to talk about this whole fistouche over the birther card that Hillary Clinton is playing against Donald Trump, because Donald Trump, until today, didn't come out and actually say President Obama was born in the United States. So Hillary Clinton is calling Donald Trump a bigot because he won't answer whether he believes Obama was born in America. It's a little bit ironic that Clinton would find the question of Obama's place of birth offensive and controversial, since that question really first originated in her campaign. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, that's already been debunked and that's been disproven. In a technical sense, yes, Hillary Clinton herself did not say that Barack Obama was born somewhere other than the United States. And it's also true that no one in her campaign officially said that, but it's undeniable that people in her campaign, people who were working for her, volunteers in her campaign, in fact, we have a name of a person that I'll get to later, actually did start the rumor in 2008. But that's not really where it all started. And I want to start talking about a couple of things here. Running interference for the Clinton campaign in all of this are these fact-checking organizations like PolitiFact and factcheck.org. And if you really look at it, it's a study in how these organizations treat the question of where such rumors about Obama started. And it's an education actually in media bias. Not the media bias of the people reporting it, but the media bias of the fact checkers themselves. It's really astonishing the kind of things they ignore. It turns out you have to actually question these fact-checking organizations every bit as much as the advocates who are posing as journalists. Now, at the outset, I want to stipulate something here. I stipulate that Barack Obama was born in Hawaii, period, end of statement. In the opinion of GreatVocalMajority.com and myself, that is beyond any doubt, reasonable or otherwise. The question of where the rumor began that Obama was born in Kenya, however, is another matter that should be addressed. So let's start addressing it. Now, first I want to show you what PolitiFact actually said. Here was the question that resulted from a charge from Donald Trump, where he said the birther movement was started by Hillary Clinton in 2008. She was all in. Now, PolitiFact called this statement false, and they did it based on what I just said a minute ago, that Hillary Clinton herself and no one from her campaign officially ever said that Barack Obama was born outside of the United States. But it's only technically the case. There were people involved who did say that he was born outside the United States that were working for the Hillary Clinton campaign. So there was a connection there. So rather than rate Trump's statement as false, which is the worst rating, I guess, you can have, I would say it was mostly false, but not entirely false, because there were people in the Clinton campaign who did actually spread this rumor. Now, I want to go into factcheck.org, who also pretty much said the same thing that PolitiFact said. I'm not going to go into any of the details. I just wanted to show you that that factcheck.org did address this particular issue. Now, here's the thing. There was a promotional booklet that was created for Obama in 1991 by his then literary agency, Acton and Distell. And in this, they claimed that Barack Obama was born in Kenya. Now, this is in 1991, okay? And I just want you to mull that over for a second. Now, I'm not saying it's true or anything like that. I'm just saying that there was a pamphlet placed out there on behalf of Barack Obama. It was a publicity pamphlet done for him. The booklet was distributed to business colleagues in the publishing industry, and it included biographies of 90 people, one of them being Obama. And the question that nobody in the media is asking is, how did such a fundamental error by Obama's publicist go unnoticed by a bright, aspiring Harvard Law School graduate eager to promote himself? Is it really unreasonable to expect that any publicity effort made on behalf of Obama would be carefully monitored and controlled by the subject himself? Is it all that unreasonable to assume that Barack Obama, despite his subsequent denials, was fully aware of every word written about him? And shouldn't the question really be, why didn't Obama know what was being said about him? And if he knew, why didn't he bother to correct the record until 2008, 17 years after this booklet was published? Now, keep in mind, this booklet was just published once, but it remained out there for 17 years. These questions have never been asked, but it's likely that an ambitious young man might be inclined to permit things to be said about his background that aren't true, just to make him stand out as different or exotic. And it points out that Barack Obama is the kind of person who doesn't mind people believing things about him that are untrue, provided they benefit him in some way. Now, why is this 1991 booklet important? Well, because it's the earliest mention anywhere that Obama was born somewhere other than the United States. Furthermore, because it was never corrected for 17 years, it places responsibility for that misinformation at the feet of Obama and his publicist. Now, I know what people are going to say. The publicist assumed all the responsibility for the error, and that's true. But it doesn't explain why Obama was so inattentive to what was being said about him by his own publicist. And, I think that is somewhat important, folks. Snopes, the fact-checking site Snopes, fact-checked this particular thing about his publicity pamphlet, and they found it to be true because it's undeniable. It's there in black and white. You're reading it. Now, we can go and look at this stuff, and, Donald Trump is making these accusations, that Hillary Clinton was behind the birther movement, and Hillary Clinton snaps back that Donald Trump is perpetuating a lie about Obama. But you want to know something? Hillary Clinton never, at the time, disavowed whether Obama was born in Kenya or not. She let it sit out there. And beyond that, when people were accusing Obama of being a Muslim, Hillary Clinton never fully disavowed that without placing a caveat. When she was being interviewed by Steve Croft, she said, "as far as I know." Now that's a typical Clintonian use of the language, where she isn't making a categorical statement. She's saying, well, as far as I know, he's not a Muslim. I mean, this is what you get from the Clintons. But, as far as it relates to whether Donald Trump is a birther or anything, and Hillary Clinton's a birther, the real truth of the matter is this. The real birther is Barack Obama, because that publicity pamphlet sat out there uncorrected for 17 years. And he let it go because it was easier for him to, it benefited him, as I said earlier. And this is what some politicians do. They don't mind myths being perpetrated or perpetuated, I should say, about them, provided they get a benefit from it. So it's really much ado about nothing. And actually, the question that should be posed to Obama is the one I posed earlier. How did you not know that these things were being said about you by your own publicist? How did you miss that? How does an ambitious young law school graduate out of Harvard, the chief editor of Harvard Law Review, how does that guy miss what his publicist, every word his publicist is saying about him? It's not believable. So in this whole scenario of Donald Trump making his comments and, looking for a birth certificate from Obama, if you really stop and look at the three players here, Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Donald Trump, who is really the liar? It's not Donald Trump. It's Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. But you already knew that, didn't you? That's it for me. This is Tony Cataspati from The Great Vocal Majority. Take care, everybody.